All right, what we're going to do here today is take a quick look at MenuLink and what it's going to do for us and what it is. And some of the things I want to start out talking with is just what MenuLink is in general. MenuLink's just a program that interprets the data we gather on the POS, and it just brings it to the back office. It's nothing more than a database that compiles and reroutes the gathered data so that we can understand how it correlates with all the data that we're going to actually use, like inventory, food costs, labor, purchasing. One important thing is it controls the data after it's been gathered. We don't get to create or generate the data. It's on the POS until we pull it or poll it to the office. Some instances like payroll, you can edit the data, but otherwise most of it is finite. Now there are certain things that you can input, but that's not really changing the data that already exists. It is controlled on a cloud-based program, and it is accessible at all times with NCR and corporate should they need anything. All right. Continuing on here, we use it to gather, edit, and submit our sales weekly to corporate. Now, that's not something we actually have to physically go and do. It's just something that the program does automatically for us. They kind of poll it remotely to get their data. One of the best uses for us is that it generates all the reports that we're going to use, and they can be as specific as we want them to be because we get to edit all the parameters of the reports. Now, it does run a utility that does that for us, but as long as you're paying attention, you can make any report you want. It acts as a register maintenance device that allows you to finalize checkouts and reconcile your cash flow, make sure your safe count is correct. It's just an awesome double checker. And it allows you to manage your employee base for payroll and scheduling, and it'll tell you any statistic you pretty much want to know in terms of units per labor hour or per person average in terms of a customer base. I mean, this thing will this thing will cut down statistics just about any way you want. Now, this is probably a little bit more important part here when we try and figure out what MenuLink is not. It is not a utility to control the POS. For that, we use a program called Configuration Utility, and it is a completely separate program. It's not able to make changes to the POS other than adding a new employee that the POS is going to recognize. It's not a program that's going to automatically perform any action unless it's otherwise stated or programmed. And one of the best instances of that is it is automatically programmed to do that 3 a.m. upload that brings it all from the POS, closes out the POS, and just pulls it to the back of the house server. And it is not able to give any valid data unless there's a bountiful supply of past data to draw from, and i.e. forecasting, which we won't be able to use for several months. Now, this is, I would say, what you'll want to pay attention to just when you have to ask yourself, why are we using this thing again? It's phenomenal for payroll and scheduling. We use it for the daily and weekly reports, cash control, reconcile, safe counting, inventory, food cost, purchasing and reporting of the product. It is able to generate these reports like I previously discussed, and we'll take a look at those a little bit later as we go through some of the videos. And who knows about forecasting? I have no clue whether or not we're going to really be able to use that. But one of the things in my mind, the conclusion here is it is the, in fact, best bud that we can have because it double checks pretty much every step that we make, and it keeps an eye on our prep because it manages our inventory and food costs as well. So I hope this helps and is a nice defined thing for you to use going forward.